Hello, everyone. Starting with a spicy topic today, AI art. Is this the end of art as we know it? Should we even use it? Should we try to put Pandora back in her box? I know that's not how it goes, but yeah, you know what I mean. Well, today we're going to look at Algomancy for the Kickstarter Stress Test, and I think this is setting a gold standard for how we should be using AI art and machine learning technology when it comes to board games. Let's get right into it. So, welcome to the Kickstarter Stress Test. We had a little bit of a hiatus for the summer, and now we're back. And here we look at Kickstarter campaigns from the point of view of their ideal consumers, the superfans, we call them, and see if the campaign and the story, the way it's presented, it's in a way where it leads me further in, it gets me excited, it gets me hyped, and it's clear and doesn't push me away from backing or confuse me. So I wanted to check this campaign for a very long time because it's very interesting, and this is not going to be a cold reaction. I already went through this campaign and looked at the video, and I really got more and more excited as I was going through it. So I want to see why that is and a little bit about the topic I mentioned, AI art, and how do we deal with it. So Algomancy, a competitive card game with deep strategic gameplay. Full stop. Draft with other players out of the box or create custom decks. So this immediately tells me what type of game this is, what I should be preparing for. It's more of a Magic the Gathering type game, but it seems to be not an LCG, not a living card game. So I'm going to get everything out of the box. That's what I'm assuming at this point. But something that, you got to play and you got to get better, and there's a lot of skill involved. And me being a player that grew up on Magic the Gathering and similar games, am really, really interested. So let's watch the video. And obviously we can see that it was it's very successful. Okay, there's 15 days ago, it's almost 200,000 and 2,000 backers. That means that there is something to see here.
Algomancers, the simulation awakens, bringing a new age upon us.
So right off the bat, great visuals, great introduction, setting the theme, something with AI. Okay, so I feel like I know where this is going, but let's continue watching.
Quest for supremacy begins now. Harness the powers of the elements and bend the source code to your will.
Okay, harness the power of the elements. That really kind of reminds me like the different lands in Magic. So far I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm in the same world, but that's the variation here.
Choose from 5 powerful factions to battle for dominance.
Okay, there's factions. Great.
Summon creatures to grow your armies. Assign battle formations to attack the realms of opponents.
Okay, and I'm already noticing something interesting. This is a 4-player game, so it's not just 1v1. That's an interesting dynamic.
Or to defend yourself from invaders who may counterattack. Control your fate by drafting cards into your hand each turn.
This connects to the drafting mechanic, but each turn. That is cool. I thought that you're going to be just drafting your deck at the beginning of the game, but the fact that it happens in the middle of the game, that is very interesting. There's sort of a deck builder element to it.
And use them to cast spells to change the tides of war. Use your wits to combine cards with graft and augment, creating stronger effect for your forces.
Nice combinations of cards. I can just imagine myself looking for these game-breaking combos or things that only I know about, and finding like the meta, discovering the meta of the game.
Reclaiming the strength of the fallen, or infecting the enemy with viruses.
Okay, cool.
Engage in seamless multiplayer mayhem, where simultaneous turns allow multiple battles to be.
So holy crap, this can be way more than just a 4-player or 1v1. What is going on? That's insane. This is like a promise. I need to see if it can deliver, because I am so worried now that a game like this would just be complete chaos and it would not balance well.
We talk at once. With over 320 unique cards and hundreds of additional resources, the battlefield will never empty. Manipulate the source code and gain control of this simulated world in Algomancy.
Nice. So what I think this does well, it really doesn't get into the theme too much. It's really focused on the mechanics and what makes this game special. And Misa Game Lab, David Diaz, one of my best buddies, made the video, and obviously the quality is there. Very well made video. So let's go down. This project is EU friendly. That's great if I'm from the EU. That's a good thing to point out right at the start. Okay, so let's scroll down. Algomancy was created to be a playground for ideas, where extremely open-ended card designs, okay, and I love the bold, because if I'm skimming through here, I'm just like, that's catching my eye, are combined with endless possibilities. Players are given maximal agency to plan and execute their wildest strategies through a live draft and deterministic resource system. Those are really big promises. This feels like, something I've always hoped for. I always felt limited by certain card games, which I wanted more freedom, more to explore, more combos, more discoveries mid-game, which makes me excited and gives those great crescendos of turns. So turns are global, so neither player goes first. No play/draw disparity. That is very interesting. Hands are drafted during the game. Again, that is, you can see how many times this is highlighted. Okay, here in the video, here, because that is one of the unique selling points for this game. Cards are simple but extremely modular. Most cards have 1 or 2 lines of text, so that's great. The cards don't have like really complex effects. That means I can help bring more people into this game rather than, dumping on them all these lines and jargon that they'll need to understand. So from what I'm getting to this will be easy to learn. A deterministic resource system ensures players can always play the game, meaning you can never be, what's the term, land dry, right? That you don't have enough mana for what you need. Region limited interaction enables parallelized multiplayer gameplay. Okay, so that basically tells me you cannot gang up on one player, which is, again, another problem they're already fixing. And this is like the first scroll down. You get all the game cards at once. Yes, and this affirms what I felt. You don't need to buy booster packs. This game is trying to fix Magic the Gathering. If I was frustrated by the money I spent on Magic the Gathering, the fact that it keeps, things get more and more complex as they go. You cannot, it's very hard to play more than 2 players. I don't know if you can, honestly. Me being Ori, I haven't played Magic for so long, so I don't know. And the drafting system is very, very unique. Got some great quotes here. And Algomancy has had open playtesting for over a year. In that time, we've had over 100 unique players participate in thousands of hours of testing, and we also ran 5 competitive tournaments. So, all of these are really bold claims, but I might be skeptical. Is this true? Can this actually work? This is sort of calming me down. It's showing me that, this isn't just like we threw a bunch of stuff on the wall and see if it stuck. And then they get to about the designer. And this is really important because this is the backbone of this campaign. Okay, Caleb Gannon, says even PhD, is what's called a personal brand. Okay, a brand which is not around, a company or a group or an idea. It's around a person, and that person makes it special. And with board gaming, I feel like these types of brands are very, very powerful. So let's see what he does here. Algomancy is a bottom-up mechanics-first game designed by PhD scientist, with a link here, and popular Magic the Gathering content creator Caleb Gannon, who is known for his creative deck building as well as his powered synergy cube. He also made the game art, which is talked about more below. Fantastic. Okay? This gives me the pedigree and all the confidence I will need to know that this is a good quality game. Because if I'm a super fan for this game and I love Magic the Gathering, most likely I've heard about Gala before. And if I haven't heard about him before, I feel like I need to know about him. And thankfully, there's all these links here which are giving us...
Hello and welcome to my dissertation.
Great, this is a presentation he gives for almost 2 hours. You know, he's not talking bullshit. This guy knows his stuff. And I find that a lot of campaigns, when they do have, you know, awards that they won or other campaigns they delivered or anything that could lower the feeling of risk I get as a backer, you should highlight that very, very early. So he's written 10,000 word essay about his goals and intention with making this game, which can be read here. Everything has a link. I could actually read this stuff. That is amazing. That makes me feel very confident about this game and want to learn more about this guy's work. Then we get to what's in the box. Okay, $69. You're not shying away from the price. It's right there. The amount of cards you're getting, the value is like right in your face. So that's a big amount for a card game, but this amount of cards, it feels like it's worth it. It's like you're getting a few seasons worth of Magic the Gathering with one box. So 320 unique game cards. There are going to be some repeated cards, but that's fine. You know, that's what you want. The resource cards, the token cards, intent cards, utility, also 10 dice and a rule book. And here we go into a what's in the box, where not only he will show me what's in the box, but I can get to meet this person on a personal level, hear him talk about the game and describe it. That gets me to feel a little bit more familiar with this person. But there's still one thing that's nagging at me, and that's the AI art. Did you just, type a few words to generate your art because you weren't willing to pay for artists? Is this lazy? Well, what's going on here? So I'm a little bit worried about that. The art looks good, but do I feel comfortable about packing this? Oh, wow, there's shiny cards. That's cool. So I'm scrolling down to see, said it's going to be talked about later. I'm going to skip all of this and the add-ons and competitive play. Okay, I'm definitely interested in that. Okay, the art. And here we get to this topic. Caleb Gannon has been a professional artist for almost a decade, working in a variety of media ranging from acrylic on canvas to large-scale procedural art etched into metal. With Algomancy, he ventured into the bargaining medium of AI image generation to capture what the dream world of a computer might look like. And I love so much about this. Okay? First of all, I'm already understanding that this is not laziness. This is not avoiding paying artists. It's not saving money. This is actually thematically connected to what this game is about, and it's part of his expression as an artist. He is a master in creating interesting mechanics in a very balanced and interesting card game, but he's also a visual artist, and he's creating this art in a very interesting and frankly never seen before way. So each piece begins with a composition sketch to set the vision, tone, and color of the image before undergoing an iterative process of rendering and refining through in-painting, over-painting, and Photoshop. A typical workflow, and this is an important sentence, for one of the cards shown below can take anywhere from 1 to 10 hours, depending on how specific the art needs to be for an individual piece. And this is my favorite part. He shows behind the scenes, so we know how much effort was going into this. So let's watch this. Turn off the music here. So you can see, starts with a composition sketch. He has this intent, he has this vision of what he's imagining. Then he generates different options. And look at it, all of these look amazing, but he's choosing one. He's refining it, repainting it, doing a lot of low variance search. And this is, for me, the best way to use AI art. Okay, you're using it as a tool to express your vision. It's not a shortcut. It's a different way of working. Look at that. That's amazing. After I saw this video, I was just completely awestruck with this design. Okay, we understand that with any new technologies comes uncertainty, but he's addressing the pain. Okay, that's also really good. Any pains and resistance you can see that your backers might have, you address it. You don't ignore it. You put it right out there, and then there's nothing to say. Nobody can complain about this later because you literally addressed it before it was brought up. We are doing everything we can to remain as ethical as possible while still exploring the new and exciting potential that this technology offers. To this effect, Caleb has been working with custom version of Stable Diffusion, okay, which is one of the fears of AI, that it's stealing art without compensating artists. Okay, if you do in the style of someone, it's basically stealing their intellectual property. But he's using Stable Diffusion, which he trained himself, meaning everything is based internally rather than stealing from external sources, which has been chosen because it's completely open source and most of its training data is in the public domain. Okay, so either he trained it himself or he took public domain inspirations. Like all museum scans, which he feels add to the strangeness of the art in a unique way. So this could also equate to what Botany did with their campaign. Botany took public domain art of old flowers to use as the art for their game. It wasn't because they were saving money. That was part of the idea. That was the smart idea they had. They also found way of a cost-effective way of putting art in the game, but because it also fits thematically with their game. Their game is about Victorian age travelers collecting flowers. What better way to put original artwork from that period? And that's how I think you should be using AI, with artistic intent. Okay? And either artistic intent or as a way to bridge your creativity to the final result. And there are a few examples which we're seeing popping up, which campaigns start the first iteration with AI art and then they hire artists to repaint the cards or the artworks, bringing it to the final version. That is also fine, but I'm very curious to what you think about this topic. Should AI art be banned entirely from board games, or is there a way it can be used? Do you think this way was okay? Let me know in the comments. And just to reiterate, like the final points which we looked at this in this campaign, one is point out the most exciting things first. Okay. The things that you want the superfan to be excited about, put them as high as possible and repeat them a few times. And in this case, it's the drafting during the game and all the other points we saw here. Use bold to help people that are skimming through the page. Pedigree. Make sure if you have things that would make people trust you more and lower the risk to know that you can not only deliver on the game, but deliver on the quality, make sure they're highlighted. If you're won any awards, if you've done a lot of playtesting, if you have delivered on previous games, make sure that it is highlighted. This is especially important for Kickstarters where there is a lot of risk involved. And 3, if there's any points of resistance you can anticipate, make sure to highlight them very clearly in the campaign. So in case anyone comments about it and complains, everyone can point out, hey, he addressed it. You can see it right here. And you won't have to be defending yourself constantly in the comment section. And scrolling down quickly through the comment section, it looks positive stuff, okay? So it's very interesting. You want those conversations to be positive, not just people complaining about things. So Hope you learned something from this, and I wish this campaign a lot of success. I'm very intrigued by it. And that's all. Share, like, and subscribe, and we'll be back on a regular schedule.